Beyonce can release a genius album, and the two biggest artists that have huge record deals are Addison Rae and
Bad Baby. Yeah, Bad Baby.
the
Yeah,
Catch
yeah.
Me Outside
Yeah,
girl.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's stop pretending they have talent, please. I don't know if what they did, I don't know the dances that she did on TikTok. I'm sure they were very impressive. Maybe she should go with Gil and learn Janet Jackson's choreography like we had to. Or
Hmm.
stand in front of Diddy, Jay-Z, or L.A. Reid and sing and prove yourself every day like I had to. Nowadays, the gatekeepers are gone. Everybody thinks they're a star. Everybody can be a star. You can fart the national anthem on TikTok, and you're more famous than me. You're more relevant than me. You have bigger numbers than me. Congratulations. But the old school people that really had to fight through the gatekeepers every step of the way, there's a good group of us that have a little chip on our shoulder about how things have transitioned.
Well, let's get into it.
I'm gonna be turning, keep holding me down.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and if you're new, welcome on in. I hope you choose to stick around. Now, that clip I just played was pretty self-explanatory if you ask me. I agree with everything she has said. Okay. Now, before I get into all the semantics and all the nitty-gritty, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. It helps your girl greatly. Now, let's get into this mess. Okay, so basically, the woman in that video was Aubrey O'Day. She was from the girl group Danity Kane. Now, if you don't know who Danity Kane is, I need you to please stop watching this video right now. Go up to YouTube, type in Danity Kane in the search bar, click on one of their songs, and get into the moments. Because they were part of pop culture back in the early 2000s. Like, they definitely shaped pop music, pop culture, all of that. So please get into my girl's Danity Kane. But basically what Aubrey was saying in that video was just, we don't have artists like we used to. And I've probably talked about this before on this channel very briefly, because I genuinely feel so strongly about this. We do not have superstars the way we did back then. Now, some may say that's a good thing. Some might say, no, we need superstars. I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm very kind of teetering the fence when it comes to this topic. But what I can say is we do not have artists the way we used to. Like, with this new age of technology and social media, it is very easy to become famous. People don't really have to put in the work and effort and the time like they used to back then to become famous, become a superstar, become very well known, get the notoriety that they so well deserve. We don't have that anymore. Now, except for your other acts, like your heavy hitters that have been around for a little minute and they're still putting in that effort because that's the era that they grew up in, like your Nicki Minaj's, your Beyonce's, your Rihanna's, even some of the newer artists who, they're technically not new artists, they've been around for a while, but they just kind of gained much more popularity, like your SZAs, your Sam Smiths, people like that as well. They also, you can tell that they're actually putting in work and effort to put out a great body of work. Now, I don't want to dog on the people who do have it quote unquote easy now, and it's very easy to become famous and well known to become a singer or whatever. I don't want to dog on them too much, because who am I to tell people to not go after your dream and not do what you want? Like, if this is truly the path you want to do, the path that you choose for your life, who am I to tell you not to do that? But in the same breath, I can voice my opinion, and I can say that the singers we have now, I use that term very loosely, are not like the singers they had back in the day, or even from the early 2000s. It's not the same. I don't know what it is, but it just isn't the same. They aren't putting in the same amount of hours. They aren't putting in the same amount of effort. They aren't putting in the same amount of work. And that's just bottom line. I'm not saying you can't enjoy these artists. I'm not saying these artists don't deserve to have their little spot in the moments or in their little moments in the spotlight. I'm not saying any of that. It's just very evident that the culture has shifted and it has changed into something completely different than it was 10 years ago. And that's not new. That's not unprecedented. That's not unheard of. Of course, as time evolves, everything else in this world would evolve. Whether you feel like it's for the better or for the worse, things are going to change. Nothing is going to stay the same forever and ever until the end of time. Things are going to change. So that's not really unprecedented or unheard of. Of course, things are going to change. Now, it's up to you to decide if this is for the better or for the worse. Now, Miss Aubrey O'Day in the video, I can feel her frustration. I can. Now, a lot of you may say, oh, she's old, she's bitter, she's washed up. You can say what you want about her. That is your opinion. But I can kind of feel her frustration because the era she grew up in, like I said, you had to work to be in this industry, to be in that industry. You had to go in front of your LA Reeds and your baby faces and audition for them and prove to them that you deserve this chance, that you are the one that they should be endorsing and funding and putting on that stage. You had to prove that to them. So I can understand her feeling like, oh, these children nowadays or these artists nowadays have it so easy. They just prop up their phone, make a 30-second clip, and boom, they're viral, they're famous, their faces plastered everywhere. So I can kind of understand her frustration with that. It's kind of like, no one wants to put in the work. No one wants to do the nitty-gritty. No one wants to do the hard work to really get where they want to be. They just want it quick, fast, and easy. So I can kind of understand why I would too be a little like peeved if I put in all this hard work and I'm doing all these extraneous hours of like practice and whatnot, just for some person to come up behind me, post a 30-second TikTok video and become like super famous or infamous or whatever. I could be like, okay, I'm doing all this for nothing, you know? But there is a group of people, which I am a part of, who still appreciate the artists, especially musical artists, that still put in the work, who still care about the music that they put out, who still care about their craft and want to continuously evolve and grow and better themselves, in turn bettering the stuff that they put out to the public. So there is still a group of people out there who love that, who still appreciate that, who still want that. I am a part of that group. And I've always believed music doesn't always have to be super meaningful and deep and just sad. Sometimes people just want to have a good time and party and throw some, you know what I'm trying to say. Sometimes people just want to have a good time and party, and there's nothing wrong with music that doesn't really have much of a meaning behind it, and it's just feel-good music. It just makes you want to get up and dance. There is nothing wrong with that. But I feel like we have a lot of that now. A lot of the music nowadays aren't really about anything meaningful or deep. Like I said, aside from your heavy hitters and the people who actually care about their craft and are putting in the work and effort to make sure that they release a good body of work, aside from them, they still do that. But a lot of these newer artists that are coming out are just trying to make club bangers. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with that, but we don't have artists that really are putting in like their feelings and emotions and just pouring it out on the page. And I think that's the disconnect between like earlier generations and this generation. With earlier generations, when you listen to their music, you can feel the pain, you can feel the hurt, you can feel the love, the happiness. One of my favorite songs is what's the name of it? Differences by Genuine. You know that my whole life has, yeah, you know that song. Like you can feel the love pouring out of him as he sings to this woman, whoever she may be. Like, I just don't feel that with these new artists nowadays. I just don't feel the emotion. There's a disconnect. I'm just not there with them. But like I said, you can say what you want about Miss Aubrey O'Day. You can say what you want about these newer artists. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But I'm just saying, she has a point. People don't really put in the work and effort like they used to. We don't really have superstars and artists like we used to. It's just, you could see somebody walking down the street and boom, they're famous. They're TikTok famous. You would never know who they are and they're TikTok famous. It's that easy nowadays to become famous. And I would love for you guys' feedback. You let me know down below in the comments how you feel about this new phenomenon. Do you believe it's easier to get famous? And do you think that this is okay? Do you prefer this way of getting famous, or do you prefer the traditional way of people, going in and having to audition and all that good stuff? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.